Hey, boys and girls, it's time for literature. Do you have your books out? All right. Now, I want you to notice your page this week. Now, I want you to also remember, do not bring this page in on Friday because you have to use it the next week. You have to use it the next week for this side. So this week, you're going to do this side. Next week, you're going to do this side. So this page is going to last you for 2 weeks. Now, the reason I put this on 2 pages, because usually I just like to send home 1 page a week so that you know exactly what to do. But what's going to happen with this page is this is where you're going to do your research of the quotes and the things out of the book. And on this side, this is where you're going to write your paragraph. So we're going to start writing some paragraphs for literature. And I want to have you do a little bit of research. That way, you didn't turn in your research and then when it's time to write your paragraph, you didn't have your quotes and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? So don't turn this paper in on Friday. Keep it with you because you're going to use it for your paragraph. All right. Now, it says research for paragraph about Mary's love for her family. So what are you talking about? You're going to be writing about and looking for quotes in the book that talks about how Mary loves her family. Correct? So on here, I give you 4 pages to look on. So you're going to read page 14, you're going to read page 22, and you're going to read page 23 and page 40. You don't have to read everything in between, you just have to read those 4 pages. And on that page, you're going to find a quote on each page that shows Mary's love for her family. Does that make sense? So on page 14, you're going to find a quote that shows Mary's love for her family, and you're going to write the quote down here. Don't forget, you need your quotation marks, and you need your page number. I mean, even though we know what page it's on, you still need to put your page number in parentheses at the end of your quote. Your quote has to have the quotation marks. Okay, don't forget that. So you're going to do page 14 here, page 22 here, page 23 here, and page 40 here. Does that make sense? All right. Now, let me give you an example of something. So let's pretend that I gave you page number...
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Siri's talking to me on my phone or my watch. What is wrong with Siri? Why does she likes to talk to me all the time. Okay? So for example, let's say that I wanted you to write something about a lantern, for example. Remember you had to find a quote about a lantern? Oh no, let's talk about kindness. Let's talk about someone showing kindness to Mary. So we're going to read page 16. So it says, "Then with a gentle fatherly caress, the good old man released the child and turned away, carrying with him the memory of that earnest, intelligent face, happy in its intentness, joyful in its solemnity, having with it in its expression a promise of future excellence and power for good." So I would put part of that quote. Now, would I want to use that entire quote? Of course not, because the entire quote doesn't talk about it. But that very first part where it says, "Then with a gentle fatherly caress, the good old man released the child and turned away." That's what I would write. And at the end, I'd have ... And I would, of course, close out my quotation marks. But see how I read on there and I found something that dealt with kindness? So on page 14, you're going to deal with finding a quote for each of these that shows Mary's love for her family. So make sure that the quote that you choose actually shows Mary's love for her family. Okay? It's not Mary's family's love for her, it's Mary's love for her family. So you're going to do a quote of something that Mary did to show love for her family. Okay? Next week I'll put out the video talking about your paragraph. Okay? All right, boys and girls. Have a wonderful week. Do well. Enjoy your schooling.